tossed around quite a bit here. It's crazy.
We're going to go to Pitcairn.
Okay.
This is too much.
Okay.
In this episode, we set sail from the protected waters of Hermitage, only to encounter winds that were much stronger than predicted, along with big, breaking, choppy waves. But it worked out okay because we end up in an anchorage that we would have otherwise missed, and it turned out to be one of the best anchorages with beautiful hiking opportunities that we have found on the southern coast of Newfoundland. It was our first day back out on the ocean in less than ideal conditions, and we began considering whether sailing is fun or fearful. At the end of this episode, we talk about some of the fears and anxieties that come with this type of sailing. After spending 6 weeks working on and repairing the boat in Hermitage, we finally set off again and set sail working our way west, hopefully with better and warmer weather this time.
We're not quite sure where we're going because the wind is just marginal headwind. So we gotta see, and the forecast is usually not correct. So we got out of the bay here and then we will see if the wind comes from the west or more from the southwest. And then we decide where to go. We have 3 anchorages in mind that we like. So yeah, let's go have a look. It's all not far away, so we have time to check it out and decide. Edward is helping.
Into the wind.
Huh?
Into the wind.
Yeah, I'm all the way over.
A lot more wind out here than I thought we were going to get.
And so many times the wind prediction is not correct, and the seas are so much higher and the wind is so much stronger than predicted, so we kind of hold on here. My gosh.
Big wave coming up. Hold on, okay?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Ooh, another one. Oh my gosh. Well, water all over and yeah, the wind got crazier here and the waves. Almost scary. I'm just lying. Not about the waves height, but that it's scary. Maybe some people would find it scary, but I find it fun.
It looks a little too rough out there. Not looked, but felt a little too rough out there. And we would really be beating up the boat, tacking into pretty steep short waves. It's just too much. So we decided to just head straight across from where we were into a place called Pitcairn Bay or Pink Bottom or something like that.
We arrived at Pink Bottom, they call it here. It's a really beautiful area. Really cool. Okay, anchor's ready. What?
240 feet, whatever that is in meters.
240 feet in meters divided by 3 minus 10%, I guess.
80, 70, 78 meters.
Okay, back up. Anchor is set. Not dragging. We just let the dinghy down to go and look what's on shore here. over there where the house is? Oh,
Even Edward
wants.
wants.
Hey, we gotta fly the drone later.
Yep.
This is so stunning.
It is.
These rocks here and the mountains and the walls, the straight walls that are over here. Oh look, there's green grass even. This is so awesome.
Not covered in snow.
Please make sure the door is securely shut when leaving. Thank you. Outhouse. Okay, let's see what's in here. Wow, old bench. This is cool.
Well used.
Yeah. What does it say?
People signing in that have been here. Magnifique. Merci.
Cute.
We have found several old resettled outports along our journey here on the south coast of Newfoundland. These outports are retreating back into the soil, but often you can still find old foundations in cut wood or a cemetery denoting their existence.
So we're on the trail that we think takes you from this side of some land over to Galtas, which is another outport just across the bay from Hermitage.
Ooh, this is steep, my gosh. Right? It's like a ladder. Edward! Oh, here you are. Come on, do you need help? There.
Flynn, bus is leaving. Come on.
Come, jump in. Hop.
Come on, Flynn. Oh.
Come. Gotta move. Just 1 foot is enough. There.
Got back from a little dinghy excursion. This place is pretty beautiful. It's not too far away from Hermitage, and already we're in the wilderness. And we were walking around on shore and found all kinds of foundations from old houses. This used to be an old settlement, and like a lot of the old outports here, there's leftover graveyards, and it kind of gives you an idea of the date of when people were here. But some of the dates that we were seeing on what was left of the headstones was 1907, 1910. So
we're ready to leave Piquet or Pink Bottom. It's always hard to leave these beautiful places, but we're also anxious to get down further south for a while, just for a few weeks, to get some sun before we finish the circumnavigation of Newfoundland. And so that's where we get going. And the sun is shining, beautiful weather, not much wind, but let's see what we can harness. You need a comfy place to lay down. I'll make one for you, wait. Edward is pretty old. He's like 14 probably. We don't exactly know, but he always wants a really comfy place to lay down. His old bones hurt on the hard bench here. He's so sweet. And sailing again, off to the next adventure and the next beautiful anchorage. The thing that's sticking out there is the man overboard buoy, but because we have the solar panels out to charge the batteries, it can't be in this usual spot, so it has to be like this. Yeah, and because it's very calm and we have hardly any wind, we need the solar panels out and the wind generators to charge the batteries. We are dragging the dinghy behind us again because it's always a lot of work to bring it up on the deck. Okay, where do we go?
So today we're gonna head towards Brent Cove, and they say Pushy Bay here. And it's about a 20-mile trip.
Pushy.
Yeah. Pushy.
I think it's Fâcheux or something, I don't know.
In French. Yeah, so it's about a 20-mile journey. The unfortunate part of it is it's a headwind pretty much the whole way there. So we're debating on tactics for sailing there versus using our motors, because we're got to be self-reliant here for a few days, a few weeks, we'll see. And so right now we're just kind of setting a course out into the middle of Hermitage Bay, and then we'll turn to see if we can get on a really close reach over to Pushy.
Awesome.
If you like our channel, please consider subscribing and/or hit the like button below.
Yeah, so we've been talking a lot recently about, amongst ourselves, about fear and anxieties and fun while sailing out here on the south coast of Newfoundland and Newfoundland in general. And that's sort of the theme for this episode.
Yeah, so what's your fears? Are you fearful when the waves are coming or when there's too much wind, or?
Yeah, I think at the beginning,
we didn't know the boat. I didn't know the boat and didn't know what the boat could take. And so at the beginning, everything was an unknown. And when you have all these unknown variables and factors, that lends to fear. So when the waves are big and you don't know how big a wave the boat can handle, it gets a little fearsome sometimes.
Well, actually for me it was like when we first started sailing, that was in November, and I've never really sailed before. So I remember when we were going to Twillingate and the first big wave was coming, I was scared for seconds. And then I asked, is that dangerous? And Wes said, no, it's not dangerous. The boat can take it. And then I enjoyed it. The only fear I have is getting seasick and cannot enjoy and having fun in the waves. So yeah, but there are probably other factors also that kind of create fear on the ocean. So what is it for you?
Yeah, when we first started out, the biggest was definitely the weather. So the weather here is just relentless, and so the winds are a lot stronger than I'm used to in the southern latitudes, or more southern latitudes, tropical latitudes. And so 30 knots here is a lot more powerful in the wintertime than 30 knots down anywhere else I've sailed. And so when the wind speeds would increase, so would the power of those winds, and just the not knowing of how much more powerful they can get is pretty frightening.
Yeah, so my biggest fear actually being here on the boat in Newfoundland, because we're always in so remote places and there's no chance to get to anywhere, to a bigger city fast. If something would happen to my family, which are spread all over the world, I have no chance to get there quickly. So that's my fear.
Yeah, it would take us a while. We're often in pretty remote places, and there's no roads, there's no cars, there's no people. And like for the last week and a half here, we've not seen a single person or a single boat for that matter. So that's another big one. So the standard fears are, these guys here on the boat, the dogs and Judith included, are what I consider precious cargo, and keeping them happy and healthy is a priority. And so making sure that we don't do anything that could that could injure anybody is also a big fear. So I just want to make sure that everybody is safe on board.
And because he thinks that and he's worried about us, I'm not fearful on the boat at all. The only thing that I sometimes think, nothing can happen to Edward. He's 14 and I'm really taking care of him. I feed him the healthiest food ever because I want him to live very long, because he's my companion forever and I don't know when he's gone what to do without him. So yeah, that's a little fear.
The dogs mean a lot to us for sure.
Yeah, very much.
I'd say the last one I have is just, when you read on the charts, and it'll get a lot worse once we start going further north up into Labrador and Baffin, but every once in a while on the charts they'll say, caution to mariners. This area has not been surveyed or looked at very closely, so use caution when sailing in these areas. And so that always elevates my fear factor a little bit, especially when we go to anchorages that aren't well documented or there's not a lot of information on, and we got to be really careful about hitting these underwater rocks. And so when we were out in winter, the sunlight was always pretty low, so you never had adequate sunlight, or the angle of the sun was not high enough to really see the underwater obstacles. But we're getting better at that now.
Yeah, and another thing, I'm always concerned when we leave the boat. We're here in an anchorage and we take the dinghy and go to shore and we go hiking for hours with the dogs. And although I know that no burglar is shipping around here and sailing around and looking for people that leave their boats in an anchorage and steal everything.
Yeah, that's the least of our worries here.
Yeah, but still, when I leave the boat, I always think, I'm always happy when we come back and it's still there.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, my fear on that is more of like, will she drag anchor, or will something happen to the boat? Does a fire start that we forgot to turn off something and something sparked a fire or something like that? Yeah. But that's just typical anxieties.
Like right now there's so much wind outside and the boat is just shaking. You can't see that on the video because the video is moving with us. But that's not anything that is frightening us.
Yeah.
It's the things you don't think about. So guys, we would like to know from you, what are your fears? What would be your fear if you're on the sailboat? You can leave a comment for us if you want. And I think we should end it here.
Yep.
and say goodbye before
right.
we bore you. Yeah, but we would like to have you engage a little bit, so leave us comments about anything. Thanks for watching. Bye.